And good evening from the Inverclyde National Sports Centre in Largs, Scotland, and welcome to live coverage of the Commonwealth Fencing Championships 2014. We're with you for the next 6 days with every twist and turn in the hunt for gold. I'm Nick Rougvie, and here on Scotland's West Coast we have 300 athletes from 20 countries competing in one of the fastest sports in the world. And tonight we're bringing you the medal matches from the men's Épée and the women's Sabre competition, the quest for glory in both. And with me in the commentary box for the next 3 days is Claire Bennett. Claire is a former member of the Great Britain women's foil fencing team and world-class performance programme, representing Britain in European and World Championships from the age of 14. As captain of England, Claire won individual bronze and team gold in the 2010 Commonwealth Fencing Games in Melbourne. While studying for her modern languages degree, indeed at Durham University, she was British University's fencing champion. Hope that's built you up enough there, Claire. Welcome to Largs. This is your first trip to this very pretty part of Scotland. What are you looking forward to this week?
I'm looking forward to just seeing some great fencing, to be honest. I also love the atmosphere at these championships. I mean, I remember last time in Melbourne, all the teams get together and behind each other, and there's always, I mean, I fence for England, and there's always such a good vibe in the camp. So I'm looking forward to the atmosphere. I'm looking forward to some fantastic fences and also some upsets. I love seeing an underdog come through, so it should be a great spectacle to watch. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of young talent here this week, it's fair to say, and it's really a good proving ground for them in international competition. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Commonwealth Championships is one of these championships where it allows you to have that experience of fencing on an international stage, and also in this fantastic venue where you might have got through to the finals, you might be fencing on a raised piece, and it gives you that real fantastic experience that you might never have if you were to fence on the British team. There is certainly a real sense of theatre and drama. It's a very impressive layout the Scottish fencing have put on, and it's very different to perhaps other experiences in other Commonwealth Fencing Championships. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's just so different to the championships that I experienced in 2010 in Melbourne. I mean, there was no lighting, there was no kind of the dramatics that we're going to get tonight here, Nick. And, I remember in Australia it was quite the contrary. We were fencing in, the back end of a sports hall, and it wasn't such an atmosphere like this. So credit to Scotland and Scottish fencing for putting this on. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's fair to say there's been a ratcheting up with the tension here in Largs, and we're set for an evening of fine theatre, as we say, as this dramatic scene awaits its combatants. If you're new to the sport of fencing, Claire will be your guide to the intricacies and tactics across each of the three weapons. But right now, we're just about ready to get the official opening ceremony underway here in Largs.
Allah vakilla vakholo, Allah vakilla vakholo, Allah vakilla vakholo. Smiarach lekwando elmi, smiarach meshedur lat fepel, grupe ganam dusel katel, ganjarach gehitch na satje, drumut mavran harlem maikne. Allah vakilla vakholo, Allah vakilla vakholo, Allah vakilla vakholo. Smiarach lekwando elmi, smiarach meshid mowach benje, gauwer gereje spelen sölje, ik mis stolt a god me kulje, vi mi bewer trouw de sille. Allah vakilla vakholo, Allah vakilla vakholo, Allah vakilla vakholo. Smiarach lekwando elmi. Ma volle stachje na hitfi, kemarish na mogg mishe, chithan kuri chithan kuya, and she dan stuur gloan och gloan jag blöjta alla vackra kollo alla vackra kollo i alla vackra kollo smör ett land och en bil väskland och en hård med maltram bujen att chans att stråla den många if wanda farshin ahtem nach junior glaswan alla vackra kollo alla vackra kollo i alla vackra kollo smör ett land och en alla vackra kollo alla vackra kollo i alla vackra kollo smör ett land och en
Well, if you didn't know we were in Scotland before you saw that video, you certainly do now. It makes you proud to be Scottish, Claire, and I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very much the Viking links of Largs there, and quotes from Walter Scott to get us all in the mood. And we're about to have a dance performance now from a group from Edinburgh who are being led out by Felicia. This is Identity.
I wake up early in the morning, hop up in the Roman, wave to the haters like what's up, say what's up. See, you might have to yell, 'cause my music loud as hell, and I can't hear nothing over my drum. Give me some bass.
And that's Identity from Edinburgh. A little slice of modern Scotland, very much in contrast to the grandeur of the Glens we saw in that video. Worth saying as well, this whole event being supported by Homecoming 2014. And we are now just waiting for a fencing performance, a little taster of things to come, I think, before the medal matches get underway. And Claire, we're very near to the start of the action here, Claire. It's going to be an exciting evening, isn't it?
Absolutely, the tension's building, the crowd's really getting into it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to an electric night.
Good evening and welcome to the opening ceremony and first final session of the Commonwealth Fencing Championships 2014. Scottish Fencing is delighted to host this event in the beautiful scenery of North Ayrshire as part of this year of homecoming. What better way to celebrate this Festival of Scotland than to bring together athletes representing 20 Commonwealth countries from all over the world. Please also welcome our honoured guests, Minister of Housing and Welfare, MSP Margaret Burgess, and the President of the Commonwealth Fencing Federation, Helen Smith. Each will give a short address and Helen will read out a letter from the FIE, the International Body for Fencing. Without further delay, please put your hands together for our first speaker, MSP Margaret Burgess.
Thank you very much for that introduction, and I'm absolutely delighted to have the opportunity to say a few words on behalf of the Scottish Government at the start of this very exciting competition. And 2014 is the year that Scotland has extended a warm welcome to visitors from around the world as we've hosted our second year of homecoming, and I'm pleased to extend that warm welcome to all the spectators, competitors and everyone involved with the Commonwealth Fencing Championships. As has already been said there, the Championships are part of our year-long programme of events celebrating Scotland's second year of homecoming. And 2014 has already been a great success and the funded events held to date have attracted almost 900,000 visitors from near and far in a celebration of Scotland's unique culture, heritage and other world-renowned attractions. And we've got many events coming forward, and I hope you would visit our website to see what there is, because there truly is something for everyone. But as you know, sport has been very big in Scotland in 2014. It's been an amazing year, with the best ever Commonwealth Games held in Glasgow over the summer, followed by the European success at the Ryder Cup at Gleneagles in September. And now it's very exciting that we have over 600 fencers from 21 countries taking part in this fighting for Commonwealth glory in these championships. And I don't know much about fencing, but I've been told it's arguably one of the world's fastest sports. And I have to be honest, I'm really excited about seeing a match tonight, because I've never seen a fencing match, and I'm really quite excited about it, hearing from Helen some of the intricacies of the sport. So I certainly hope that you enjoy the next 9 days of the championship, watching some of the world's most talented fencers competing. And I want to wish the very best to every person and individual that's taking part in these championships, and wish you all the very best of luck, and hope that you can achieve what you've set out to do at the start. And I'm not going to take up any more time other than to say it's a great pleasure to announce the 2014 Commonwealth Fencing Championships open. Thank you.
And now give a warm welcome to Helen Smith, the President of the Commonwealth Fencing Federation.
Thank you, everyone, and a warm thank you to Margaret for her support and the government's great contribution to this event and making this possible. We're all really, really happy to be here in Scotland. I was lucky enough to have a couple of weeks travelling around prior to the championships, and I think it really does have some of the most spectacular scenery in the world, as does Australia, I have to say. Forgive me for that. I'd also like to take this opportunity to again thank Scottish Fencing and the organising committee and the whole team that is behind the production of these events. As you know, we have the Commonwealth Senior Fencing Championships, followed by the Veteran Championships, and it's taken another step forward in the level of presentation and organisation in our events, and we just keep aiming higher, and the organising committee seem to be achieving those heights as we go forward. And now the President of the International Fencing Federation, Mr. Alisher Usmanov, unfortunately wasn't able to be here with us this evening, but he has asked me to read out this message, this short message from him. Dear friends, on behalf of the International Fencing Federation, welcome to the 2014 Commonwealth Fencing Championships in the city of Largs, Scotland. We look forward to sharing via social media 6 days of exciting fencing performances with you. The local organising committee has prepared extensively to ensure a successful and very efficient and well-run event. Fencing is growing worldwide at a remarkable rate, and an increasing number of countries are not only producing new world-level fencers, but also winning international medals. As we saw at the London 2012 Olympic Games, champions and finalists are emerging from all zonal regions of the world and new countries. Fencing has seen a great number of changes in recent years, including the expansion of women's fencing, the introduction of electronic scoring and video refereeing, and the integration of new technologies. However, fencing is an original Olympic sport, and it also maintains its traditional elements and continues to promote important values such as chivalry, courtesy, concentration and self-control. On behalf of the FIE, I would like to thank the local organisers, the regional and national government authorities, Scottish Fencing and the Commonwealth Fencing Federation for their hard work and support in the organisation of this event. I would also like to thank the athletes, coaches and their support staff, as well as the volunteers, for their dedication. I wish success to all participants, athletes and the organising committee of the competitions. May the best fencers win. Alisher Usmanov, FIE President. Thank you.
Warm round of applause there for Helen Smith as well as for Margaret Burgess, the local MSP, obviously referring to part of the homecoming, and of course Glasgow being the host city for the Commonwealth Games this year. Time now to count down to the medal matches.
Let's go!
Are you ready for fencing? Make some noise. Are you ready for fencing? Please welcome your fencers for the first event tonight. It's the semi-finals of the men's Épée tournament. Please welcome to the piste Mark Burkhalter and Tom Edwards, both of Wales, and the referee Giuliano Ranza.
Well, Mark Burkhalter and Tom
second
Edwards,
final
of
will
course,
be
are going to be
Dudley Treasure of
facing
England
each other.
versus John
Claire,
Bennett.
it's an all-Wales affair in that first semi-final. It's going to be an interesting one, when
And their
always
referee
is when
will
there's
be Mike
inter-country
Thornton.
rivalry.
Absolutely, it's always really hard fencing your teammate as well, because you know each other inside out,
Our
and
referees
you know
tonight
it
will
could
be
go either
assisted
way.
by
It's
Sean
at the end of the day, it's more of a
Grundy
mental
and
battle
Nick
than
Rougvie.
anything when you're fencing your teammate. So it's whoever's going to be brave enough to step up and get through to the final.
Without further ado,
Yeah, let's just
please
remind
have our
ourselves of
first
how things are
fight,
going to pan
Mark
out
Burkhalter
for
and
this
Tom
evening.
Edwards.
Mark Burkhalter and Tom Edwards will be first up on the piece, followed by
Mark
Dudley
fences
Treasure
for,
versus John
Oxford
Downs of
University,
Australia. That's
coached
England,
by
Australia.
John
That's always a
Cass.
fairly tasty encounter,
He's a
that one.
four-time Welsh
And then we'll be going on
champion
to the
and has been a
semi-finals
previous
for
Commonwealth
the
champion
women's
in
competition,
2010.
which is Anne Human-Lee against Jennifer Sancroft of Scotland, if the crowd needed any further whipping
Tom
up. I'm sure
Edwards
Jennifer will provide
fenced for
that.
Red Hill
And that will be
and
followed by
Reigate
Katie Hendra of
Épée
England
Club,
against
and is
Catherine
coached by
Kemp
Ian
of Wales. So
Litchfield.
Wales very well.
He's
And
previously been part of a Five Nations winning team and has been a consecutive UK Games double medalist. Please welcome your fencers, Mark Burkhalter and Tom Edwards.
So on your screen there you can see the routes, how the fighters managed to get to this stage. The crowd in full voice already. Mark Burkhalter had a very good performance, taking out the number one seed to make this final. It was a performance, and he was absolutely delighted when he saw Samson Lee of Singapore, who, as I say, was the number one seed. So Mark in pretty good fettle. He's of course the defending champion in this particular event, Commonwealth champion that he won down in Melbourne in 2010. A wily old fighter, I suppose, and he used all that guile in his previous match.
Yeah, and you know what? He seems really relaxed. He was coming out before the opening ceremony, and he was encouraging the crowd to do Mexican waves, and the crowd were loving him. So, you know, why not? If he's relaxed, that's what the beauty of fencing. If you're relaxed but focused and you're not too tense, then you're going to do well.
And so, Claire, we're just about to get underway here. Just explain very briefly, as for those who might be new to the sport, a little bit about Épée, the scoring of it first of all.
Referee, start
Yeah,
your
cool.
fight.
So, Épée, you hit the target areas all over the body. So, Épées have to be really careful that it's more of a tactical weapon. they always have to be in a state of competitive readiness, because they can be hit at any one time. So here we've got a single light, but in épée you can have double lights as well.
And of course it's first to 15. It is a little more cagey épée than perhaps the other weapons. A little bit more tactical perhaps. Slower, certainly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, because you can hit all over the target and all over the body, the fencers have to be so aware of every single part of their body, and hence why it is slower. And it's like, I've said this so many times, but fencing is like that. It's like a game of chess, so athletes are always anticipating their next move, and it's especially so in épée.
Chess with muscle, I've heard it described as.
Chess with muscle. Not too many muscles though, because it can make you quite tense.
Mark Burkhalter has already gone into a 3-1 lead here.
Yeah, and remember, épéists have to hit each other within 1/25th of a second.
There's a strike on the foot, and you were saying earlier on that's a very difficult move to pull off.
It is difficult because, especially when you're lunging, you're doing a deep lunge to foot, you're exposing so much of your target area, your back and even your mask, your head. So it's very, very difficult. And, it's like in any weapon in fencing, you don't want to telegraph your move, so you have to catch your opponent off guard and really surprise them. So, yeah, it is a difficult hit. A lovely, beautiful hit there to flick it to wrist there to make it 3-3.
Tom Edwards just nosing back in front. He is, of course, the younger man. Maybe you're looking to use a little bit more speed, a little bit more fitness as this fight wears on.
Yeah, and in épée and not just épée, but in all weapons, all three weapons, footwork is so important when thinking about controlling the bout. You want to stay kind of far enough away to prevent yourself from getting hit, but also close enough for you to score your own hit when the timing's right. And that's a beautiful... Oh no, he might have just gone under the bib there and hit his neck, but he seems to be okay.
I suppose that's one of the dangers of the sport, isn't it? I mean, so much protection they're wearing, obviously, but these things can happen because of the size of the blade.
These things can happen, but I must say it is rare, because I actually read recently that fencing is one of the safest of sports. And because now we have Kevlar kit, the stuff is really durable, and you can't really pierce. Well, you can't pierce the kit, but every so often a point might just slip under the bib, but it's rare.
Tom Edwards then looking, I suppose, slightly the livelier, if you like, looking to take the initiative perhaps away from his Welsh teammate.
Yeah, I mean he's very agile, very light on his feet. He's probably trying to disrupt his opponent's rhythm and try and kind of push him and be the aggressor, perhaps. He's really busy on the piece and moving up and down, and looks quite sharp to me. Both of them very, very concentrated. No hit there. They come together, but there's no hit, no light.
Tom very fast to move away from that lunge there.
And they're stopping early there for their 1 minute break.
I mean, Tom Edwards' ambition, he says, is to win a Commonwealth medal, if not this time round, the next. But he's already on course for that. So that's one ambition he can chalk off. And obviously, his more experienced opponent has been there and done that. And I'm just wondering in these situations if experience, the first break is going to play into Mark's favour or to Tom's. Do you think?
Experience is obviously fantastic to have on your side in fencing, because I said this to you before, Nick, actually, it's very difficult to you'd never master fencing. There's always something new to learn in the sport of fencing. So experience, of course, will put you in good stead, but at the same time, I guess with experience, sometimes that brings more pressure. you know, the better fencer you are, the harder it is to finish off fights sometimes.
I've just seen some replays up on the big screen now.
Yeah, that was the beautiful flick hit to wrist before.
Just a small technical problem with one of the scoreboards. I suppose that's one of the problems with fencing, is that so much of it is dependent on the technology as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of electrics and lots of things that can go wrong because of that. But, you know, thank God we do have electrics nowadays, because, you know, fencing's so fast that you need that. You can't judge it by the naked eye. We need a referee. We need the electrics to record all the hits. Really lovely single light there, just jumping in on his preparation. Just switching on the scoreboard again, trying to get the score right.
I'm just wondering if Tom Edwards there has a slight problem with his eye line, and that's why he's looking for the referees to get it fixed.
Yeah, well, they're just going to go ahead and continue the fight.
Well, they've turned both scoreboards off now, so we just have one in the centre of the piece, so it's an even playing field, if you like, for both men.
Single light, he's just checking to see what the score is.
Slightly pointed reference to the scoreboard in the middle that neither fighter can see there from Mark Burkhalter. Playing to the crowd a touch.
He seemed to really thrive in these championships. I mean, just to see him before warming up the audience of the Mexican Wave, I think he loves these moments, and, you know, it's his time to shine. He's got centre stage, and he's just enjoying every second, which is really nice to see in an athlete, because all so often when these moments are tense, you know, you can just take it too seriously, and, you know, you don't perform to your best ability. So he's playing a right card here, I think.
As I say, his reaction after that last 8 win was maybe gave away his competitive edge. It's not just fun for him. He's very much here to win it, I would suggest.
Yeah, of course he is. Oh, lovely parry post there, just taking the blade and hitting him right on the side of his chest. A really lovely hit. Total control. Épée is much more different than Sabre in that it's kind of short bursts of explosive speed, whereas Sabre is, you know, you'll see a bit later on, Sabre is constant energy and aggression and going out there straight from the get-go, whereas Épée is, like we said, much more tactical, and then little bits of explosivity like we've just seen there.
Must take a particularly different mindset then to fight each weapon, knowing the differences, particularly as say between Épée and Sabre.
Oh, definitely. It's not just mindset, but in the technicalities of it all. There's no way, if you want to get to an elite level, you know, you'd really have to specialise in one weapon. I mean, it has been done across the boards of the weapons, but, you know, if you're looking at kind of elite Olympics level, they're so different, the weapons, you've just got to specialise.
Mark Burkhalter seems to be winning those close-up encounters, and he's just edged into a 1-point lead now. Just over a minute left in the second period.
Oh, that was an unlucky Mark Burkhalter tried to get the flick there to back, but he didn't get his flick hit on. You know, with an épée you actually have to you really have to decompress the point for it to register. So you have to hit with 750 grams pressure. The actual épée weapon weighs 770 grams, Nick. So I don't know if you can visualise holding almost like a kilo, you know, non-stop for 3 times 3 minutes is quite a long time. But, you know, fencers get used to it. Really tight now, coming up to the end of the second period. We've got 14 seconds left. Is Edwards going to do one last hit to make it even scores? No, I don't think
they're
so.
backing off.
Yeah.
So into the second break then, and Mark Burkhalter just retains that very slim lead he has. Which way do you see it going?
Oh, I'd like to
Put
say.
you on the spot there.
I
Put you on the
know.
spot.
I'd like to say probably experience might win on this, so I might give it to Burkhalter. But then again, you just don't know in fencing. I mean,
he's won so many titles, Mark. He's obviously been in this position so many times. He says his ambition is to win 10 Welsh Open titles. He's already got 8 of them. So, and with the Commonwealth medal as well. And he's obviously fought at a good high level for a long time. So he knows how this is going to play out for him.
Yeah, I mean, he must feel pretty good at the moment. He must feel in quite comfortable. You know, he's been here, done that. So yes, he has that experience, and you know, he probably knows how it's going to play now for the end of the tournament. So he's certainly got the upper hand, and he definitely looks relaxed. So we'll just have to wait and see. But you know, in épée, I think both opponents is good that they're keeping the score tight, because épée, you know, if your opponent runs away from you, it's very, very difficult, because you get those double hits. It's very, very difficult to win the fight if you're at a major deficit. So it's going to make for an exciting match. The fact that the scores are close is great for spectators anyway. I don't know about the fencers, but
I'm astonished at how relaxed Mark is. He's strolling about and taking it all in his stride. Tom looks a little more anxious. He's talking to his coach a lot more and trying to get an idea of how he, you know, gets back into this fight.
Yeah, it just looks like Mark is just kind of, you know, he knows what he's doing, and sometimes you don't need you know, talking up from your coach in the minute break, but of course Tom Edwards, perhaps that's what he needs. You know, he'll need some words of advice, and he'll probably be using this minute to think about tactics, and also resetting his head, getting back into the zone, and just thinking, what are his next hits going to be? Because, you know, in fencing, you must always consciously decide which hit you're going to do before you go out there and do it. You've always got a game plan.
Yeah, they are still trying to battle with these scoreboards a little, I think.
Yeah, it seems to be a little longer than a minute break. Probably the fencers are quite enjoying the additional time, just have a quick swig of water and reset.
Yeah. Mark Burkhalter there. I mean, talk a little bit more about. He started when he was 11 years old. As something to do as an after-school activity. I suspect that's the way a lot of people start fencing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Nick, I started at the age of 10 after school at an after-school club as well. So I think, you know, that's probably how a lot of fencers start nowadays. Fencing's coming out into the masses. I do a lot of fencing with my Go Fence kit, which is plastic swords. So it's really great. I bring it out to, it's like doorstep sport to a lot of young people who would never have the opportunity to fence out in their schools or whatever. So, yeah, but a lot of our fencers, especially of our generation, did start after school clubs.
Yeah, I mean, and Tom as well, as we mentioned, he's still a fairly young guy, but he's competed at all junior internationals for 3 seasons, ranked as high as 12th in Great Britain men's épée ranking. He's junior Commonwealth athlete. You know, he's, in terms of competitive fencing, as much as he can do at that level, you know, and now it's almost like he's making the next step up to the seniors, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and you know, good for him. This is such a fantastic stage to take the stage, and because there is, to be quite frank, it is a bit more relaxed here, and you know, this really is his opportunity to push himself out of his comfort zone and go for something that, you know, is just going to be fantastic for him. He'll always remember the souvenir of fencing on this stage, and you know, what a great stage to do it on.
Right, new scoreboard in the middle. The final period is underway.
Edward's still very light and agile on his feet, and he just got caught on the shoulder there. See what I was saying, Nick? How it's very dangerous sometimes to go for the foot because you're leaving your back exposed.
And he's clearly frustrated with himself for that. Knew he got caught out. And there's the double hit you were talking about, Claire, which just means that Mark edges slightly closer to that magic number.
Yeah, Edwards is going to have to really push now to try and get those single lights because, 4 more double lights and that's the end of the fight. So he's really going to have to think about ways in which he's going to have to get a single light now. I suspect that was quite an important hit in the fight. They're just checking his point, see if it's registering. And there we go. It's only, because his point didn't register because there was another point that was on to the right. It was the right hit, the right opponent's point, so it didn't register when the referee touched his point, but all's good now. Oh, lovely hit. And that's crucial, I'd say, to the end of this fight.
Yeah, first real bit of emotion from Burkhalter there. Fist pumping as he realised that takes him that little bit closer.
Yeah, he's really going to have to stay with it now and ready and just, if he can get one more double light, then he'll feel a lot more comfortable. But they all say that the last hit is the hardest hit to get in fencing. There we go, good double light there. He just needs one more double light now to finish this fight. Now putting pressure on Edwards. Is he going to go? He's got it!
And that's it, double hit. Mark Burkhalter is through to the final. 15-11, defeating his countryman.
So experience did win over then, Nick. You're right.
Tom Edwards looking frustrated there. But it's a very good performance from him, getting to this stage of a Commonwealth Fencing Championships when that was his ambition. He's going to come away from this thinking, you know what, this has been a pretty good tournament for me.
Yeah, of course. He's probably frustrated now because, when you've reached your goal, you just want to go that one step further. That's just your mindset of being an athlete. You just always want to be the best. But, he's going to go home tonight, reflect on what he's achieved today, and he's probably going to feel pretty good about himself.
It was those 2 or 3 very early hits, at the very start of the fight where Mark just made that gap and maintained it. It was a far faster start for Burkhalter than it was for Tom Edwards.
Yeah, he was always ahead, 1 or 2 hits ahead and, just inching his way to victory. And in fact, in the last period, that's where he really closed the gap and Edwards was nowhere near him. Mark really, really did well to finish off the fight and make sure he won.
Dudley Treasure of England and John Downs of Australia.
No messing about then, here we go with the second semi-final, and it's John Downs of Australia and Dudley Treasure of England. And Treasure is a man you've been... Match point on your screens now. Mark Burkhalter. That's the winning strike.
Attention, can we just hold about for a second, please?
So here we're waiting for Dudley Treasure and John Downs to get underway, and as we're just about to say, Dudley Treasure is a guy that you've been tipping throughout the day is to do quite well here.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've just been watching a few of his fights today, and I feel like he's fencing, really well, very strong. And he's one of these fencers where, just looking at his style and technique, and I mean, I don't fence épée, I'm a foilist, but if I were to fence épée, I think he'd be quite a tricky opponent to face. He's got quite a, awkward style, which is quite pressing, and I imagine, quite difficult to hit. So we'll see how this fight goes, but I'm looking forward to seeing him in action. He's been very strong today, I must say. I
mean, he's obviously been around the block. Commonwealth, England Commonwealth team 2002, 2010 as well, British champion in 2013. So he's been around and fighting at a pretty high level for quite a long time.
Yep, definitely. And I think, just like Marquez, he's extremely comfortable on the stage. He's been in many Commonwealth championship competitions and finals, and I think he'll be feeling pretty relaxed, and that's the key. It's the key to these championships, is just being relaxed but focused, and just allowing yourself that opportunity to kind of unlock your potential and just fence your best. That's all you can ask for in a fencing competition.
We don't know a huge amount about John Downs, it's fair to say, from Australia. But he has had some pretty good results. He's hitting top 64 in Grand Prix, which is difficult to do, because you're then fighting at a very, very high level if you're getting to that stage.
Oh yeah, to get a 64 in a Grand Prix, you're of a level. It's very difficult to do that.
Well, that's Treasure with the first strike then. Draws first blood in this first period.
Fantastic beat, flick to shoulder, and what I was saying to you before, Nick, you have to really decompress the point at 750 grams to register. It's very difficult. I love those kind of hits. It's a real showman hit. It's for a fencer, it's fantastic to see those.
A tactic he's thought about and thought, this is where I'm going to get the edge here.
Yeah, that's what I've seen him. Look at that, absolutely fantastic attack on preparation. His opponent didn't even have a chance to, start this attack. He was just caught off guard. And I think that is going to be Treasure's. It looks like it's going to be his tactic. He's pressing, trying to surprise his opponent, and he's 3 hits up already. So just needs to keep a lid on his priority on his lead, and he seems to be doing very well. His pressing tactics and style are working right now.
Well, what a contrast to the fight we've just seen. It's very much pressing on Treasure. It's a very different approach to Mark Burkholder as well as Edwards as well.
Yeah, always. This is more fast-paced, definitely, and Treasure's kind of, just pressing. I haven't actually seen him go back once, really. What a fantastic single light again. It is more fast-paced, but I think that's what you need to do in fencing. You need to change your style according to the opponent that's going to be in front of you. Every opponent is different.
They both sort of stopped very briefly there, and they thought one of them had registered a hit, but neither had. That was an odd occurrence, but that's a 4-point lead now for Dublin Treasure. Yeah,
they got up at close quarters, and it's a bit scrappy. But you've got to fight to the last hit. Fencing, you must never stop. You've always got to be looking to get that next hit and to get your point on. Treasure's made quite a lead, and bearing in mind we're still in the first period here, so they really are going quick for this weapon.
There's only 3 points away from hitting that total, and there's still plenty time. It's very difficult to see how John Downs can get back into this fight.
Yeah, especially if Treasure just carries on applying pressure. He just can't cope right now. He's being forced to the back line. Is he going to go over it? Oh, that was a real pressure hit. Remember, in fencing, Nick, if you go over the back line, it's a hit against you. So very important to not be pressed all the way back. Treasure really, he's not letting up. He's still applying the pressure. Oh, great.
There he is, just one hit away then from making the final, and it's been absolutely relentless. We've still got 1 minute 53 left in this first period, which is highly unusual for Épée.
It's really unusual. And it's basically a Sabre match is what we're watching. But it's great. It's making it really exciting. And actually, Treasure, if he wins this, is probably saving a bit of energy for the final now. Doesn't have to do all 3 periods.
And that's it. It's all over. Big cheers from the crowd. That was ruthless, one would say. You've got to think John Downes is going to be quite disappointed with that, and he maybe not quite prepared for an onslaught from Dudley Treasure.
Yeah, he's going to be really disappointed with that. I mean, in fencing, you have to be in that, like I said before, that constant state of competitive readiness, and he just wasn't with it. That you really have to be on guard for any hit that's going to come your way. The fight was over with 1 minute 46 seconds to go in the first period, so that really was he was really steaming down the piste, and he had total control over the way, and fair play to Treasure, he didn't let up once. So
I think it's going to be absolutely fascinating to see that final, how someone with Mark's experience will take on someone else who's clearly experienced as well, of a similar age, but very, very different style. Unless, of course, Dudley Treasure decides to mix things up, and he himself starts to hang back, and we see, I suppose, more of a classical épée encounter.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, to be honest, I'm sure they've both got game plans for each other, because they know each other inside out. I get there again. So we'll see. I mean, Treasure's pressing style seems to be working. He's irritating the opponent. He's getting under their skin. They don't know what to do. So we'll see. Like you say, I think it is interesting. I wonder how Experience is going to react to that.
Yeah, we're just seeing the match point again here. It just followed the pattern of throughout the entire match, that it was just pressure, 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 and you could see John Downes retreating and retreating back to that back line, nowhere to go. Yeah,
and really Downes is just, he's replying back with a counter-attack, and in épée it's just not good enough. You really have to be creative with your hits and dominate, and every time you see an opening, you've just got to go. You can't rely on counter-attacking or being forced into a corner like he was. But yeah, great fight to watch.
So that wraps up the first part of this evening. Still to come, we do have the semi-finals of the women's Sabre competition. Again, that's going to be a very different thing to watch. It's a very different style of fencing. But I just wonder, in terms of the legacy for fencing in Scotland, it's obviously very important to have events of this scale to keep the sport growing, because it's not an easy sport necessarily to sell to the public.
Yeah, fencing is still a minority sport, really, but we're getting out there because of these new fantastic LED lighting systems that we've got, and it is becoming more accessible, and we're hoping we're going to get more and more exposure. The fences are getting better, the standard of fencing is getting stronger and higher, and with competitions like this in Scotland, the legacy is going to reign, really, and it's fantastic. There's lots of spectators here today, and I personally have never been to a Commonwealth Fencing Championships like this before. The running of it's been perfect, and organisers are all very friendly, and the actual staging of it, one of the best I've ever seen at a Commonwealth Fencing
Championships. It's a Claire Bennett seal of approval we're getting.
Oh,
It's excellent.
And I've been going since 2002. Sound like a right old woman.
I mean, I think London 2012 was perhaps not a game changer for the sport, but certainly the way it was done there. And you can see here that there are nods to what happened in London, and the kind of sense of theatre and drama that we talked about previously. Yeah,
definitely. And I think that's the whole lighting and making the whole histrionics of it and dramatising the sport is the way forward, really. If you can get young people to connect with, even if it makes them think of Star Wars, who cares? That's getting them into fencing. That's giving them that taste of fencing. And thinking, oh, maybe I'd like to get into this sport.
We have an important announcement. The buses will not leave until after the finals.
I mean, it's a good point. When you look through the reasons people give for starting fencing, a lot of them are things like, because I saw sword fighting in the movies, and it's that kind of thing, and it is the kind of thing that kids are attracted to, and get to play with swords. Great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, fencing's in James Bond, Die Another Day, and that's how they imagine fencers to be swinging from chandeliers, which actually is not at all. Fencing's completely different from that. But you know, if that's going to generate that initial spark of interest and passion for fencing, then why not?
And we are just about ready to go with the first of the women's semi-final. We have An Huimin Lee of Singapore. She's going to be taking on, I suspect it's going to be a home favourite, Jennifer Sancroft in this first semi-finals. And after that, we're going to see Katie Hendra take on Catherine Kemp. Just waiting for the introduction of the fighters.
Good evening. The women's Sabre will start in the next 5 minutes. Women's Sabre will begin in the next 5 minutes.
Well, it looks like there's just a short delay, another few minutes, I think, before we get that first of the women's semi-final underway. We talked about London 2012. Claire, I suppose we have to talk about it with you. Difficult time for you, London 2012?
Yeah, it was a difficult time. I didn't make the team. I just fell short of being on the team in 2012, and you know, it's difficult, especially when you invest, you know, your whole fencing career into achieving that one goal. If I'm honest with you, it was a very difficult and dark time. But at the same time, you know, it was fantastic seeing all the fencers, and in London as well, seeing us take the world stage like that was just incredible. So yeah, I mean, and I retired in 2012, and now I've started a new career doing a bit of commentator, which I'm loving. But I actually I work for Dame Kelly Holmes Trust now, and I look after a group of elite athletes. We've got over almost 300 athletes now, and I help athletes in their lives after sport. So of course I went through that transition after 2012. And you know, it's a difficult time. You know, you spend all your life investing in this sporting bubble and investing yourself into fencing, and sometimes athletes, they just can't find a way to move forward because that's all they've ever experienced. And you know, at the end of the day, when I stopped fencing in 2012, I lost my passion, really, is what it was. So it's just about finding your identity again and trying to reshape yourself and finding something that is going to make you tick.
A very difficult life, I suppose, trying to make it as a pro athlete, perhaps particularly in fencing, because it doesn't have, let's say, the sponsorship money and the kind of support networks that go along with a lot of other sports.
Yeah, and you know, we're not alone in that, but a lot of the Olympic sports like squash and, you know,
that large blast of music that's just got us, I think that's a suggestion we're about to see the fighters coming out.
Please welcome your fencers for the semi-final of the women's Sabre. Our first fencer is Anne Lee of Singapore. She's 5 times Singapore national champion, and this year won the Thai Navy Open gold medal. She's coached by Andras Deshe and fences at Asgard Fencing Club. Her opponent will be Jennifer Sancroft.
Big cheer for Jennifer
Scotland.
there.
Jennifer fences at Sal Rollo and is coached by David Rollo. She has won the Merseyside Open in 2011 and 2014 and the Scottish Open in 2013. Our second semi-final will be between Katie Hendra of England. Katie fences in Truro. And this year she has won the London Open, the Mike Matthews Open, and also the Birmingham Open. Katie Hendra's opponent will be Catherine Kemp. She's from Wales.
Lots of support for the Welsh fighters here then.
She fenced for
Katie Hendra, of
Boston
course, getting a
Fencing
warm
Club
round of
in the
applause
USA
as well.
and is
That'll be
coached
an
by David
interesting one of those
Sage.
two.
Yeah, Katie Hendra, it was really funny actually. In the last 16, she had to fence her future mother-in-law, Jane Hutchinson, and of course it was a very quiet fight, but they were both so sweet about it. Because Katie's actually about to get married to Neil Hutchinson, who the Hutchinson family have a great legacy in fencing. So yeah, it's great to see Katie come through and to see her in a final of Commonwealth Fencing Championships. So she's fencing Catherine Kemp, who has recently been training in Boston. She also had a bit of a break after 2012, and she went to go and train in America to basically, you know, become a better fencer and a better performing athlete. And there'll be a really interesting fight there, and I think Catherine will be up for this.
Well, we're just about to get underway with the first of the semi-finals. See Jennifer Sancroft of Scotland against Anne Lee of Singapore. I mean, Anne Lee, world ranking of 118, she is certainly no slouch.
Yeah, you know, Singapore as well, you just don't know what's going to happen. They're really quick. Notoriously, they're quite quick on their feet.
It's a particular style that a lot of them seem to fight from the Singapore team. Yeah,
they've got very, very fast footwork. And you just don't know when they're going to come. You know, they've got sudden bursts of explosivity, and they can be quite difficult to fence. And I'd say, you know, from my Commonwealth experience, the Singapore team were always quite tricky ones to fence.
Well, hold on to your hats, folks. This is Sabre, very different to what we've just seen in the men's épée. Just a very brief explanation, Claire, how the difference is.
Yeah, sure. So Sabre, the target area is from the hip upwards. So the arms and the mask is also target area. In Sabre, you can hit with the point, but also the flat of the weapon. It's a cavalier's weapon, and it goes way back where they're all fencing. They're all on horseback, you know, when they used to fight each other. And out of honour, you wouldn't want to injure your opponent's horse. So the target area would always be from the hip upwards, because you didn't want to injure the horse. So that's the reason for their target area, which is quite nice. It's always steeped in history, fencing.
So we're more likely to see that slashing motion rather than just the lunging motion we've seen in the épée because of the size
exactly.
of the
You do get a lot of like you know, points hits as well, but also a lot of cutting hits.
It's already 2-all.
Yeah, attack is parried riposte from the right. That's 3-2.
I think you may have to delve in ever so slightly to the right of way as well, which is something that happens in Sabre and foil as well.
Yeah, of course. In foil and Sabre, with the right of way, the phrase must be continuous. So the point must always be continually threatening the target and must start first. So that's really what is right of way.
Yeah, the referees we'll see here play a much more important role, I suppose, than they do in épée that we've just seen.
Yeah, I mean, with your right away, you must never break an attack or bend your arm. It's really important to continuously be putting your point forward and to be seen to be attacking as well. It's very difficult in Sabre I'd say, to move out of the way, make your opponent fall short, and then attack again. You've really got to be on your toes.
Well, a very fast attack there from Lee. Levels up the scores at 4-all.
Lee putting pressure on there. That's a direct hit from the right. That really was beautiful. There's a tick-tocking of blades there. She got the final beat and hit her to make it 5-5. In Sabre, you really have to have lightning reactions and be lightning quick. Look at that, fantastic. Lunge all the way through the middle. That's a flying attack there from the right. Oh.
Jennifer striking right back with almost the exact same move.
Yeah, what a fantastic riposte there. She's saying, you know what, I'm going to give it back.
So just explain that for us. Obviously we see both lights coming on there.
Yeah, of course. So basically she just started first. We were talking about the right of way, and you know, the referee just saw it, could see that she started first. Even you know, we're talking about milliseconds starting first, and that's what the referee has to look out for in Sabre.
Well, that's the break in the fight with Jennifer Sancroft having reached 8 points. So they still get their minute-long break, but it's not in the same way as periods as we've seen in the other fights. Because I presume because Sabre's just so quick.
Yeah, it's so quick. You really don't need to. They don't need to do the 3-minute period. So yeah, they always break at 8, and they still get their minute break. So it really is. I mean, you can tell it's such a fast-paced sport and weapon.
You really need these slow-mo replays, don't you, to see exactly what's happening.
Just to decipher exactly what's going on, and it is tough for the referees as well, because you can't always see what's happening. I mean, we're only human. You know, humans make mistakes, of course. So it can be sometimes frustrating for a fencer if they can't see. You know, if they know that the hit's theirs and the referee's got it wrong, and of course we don't have video replays here today. So fencers are relying entirely on the referees.
So, about to get back underway here. Jennifer Sancroft just with a really slender 2-point lead. It's not quite as safe a cushion as it might be in Épée, for example. Such is the speed of this fight.
Yeah, that was lovely. The attack just fell short from the left there, and the Singapore girl managed to take up the right away. This time she just got blocked out on her preparation. That makes it 9-7. There's a lot of togethers I've noticed in Sabre fencing, because you know, fencers just appear to start exactly the same time. As soon as the referee says go, generally speaking, fencers go, which isn't always the case in Épée or Foil.
Crowd getting a bit more vocal now, urging on the Scottish fighter.
Fantastic hit there. Clearly the attack was coming from the left to make it 10-8. This again is going to be quite an important part of the fight, I think. Really, it's going to be down to who can hold their nerve, who can get a few hits in the lead and finish off this fight. Again, attack all the way from the left, very clear, very easy for the referee to see.
Yeah, it's a 3-point gap now that Jennifer Sancroft has opened up. I just wonder if she's maybe getting a little cagey though. Oh, backing off perhaps a little more than she has been.
Oh yes, she just let herself, be dominated by her opponent there. Just slight hesitation, any doubt or hesitation in Sabre fencing, and that's it. You've really got to be on the ball. She just fell short. She attacked, fell short of her opponent, got her with the counter riposte there.
She is the slightly taller fighter, so you'd expect her reach to be of benefit, but she's just being caught out. I think perhaps the speed of Anne Lee is catching her out a little.
Yeah, this is where fencing can be such a tactical and psychological and emotional game, and you really have to have a very solid head. Look at this.
She's just reeled off, what's that, 4 points in a row, taking the lead now, 12-11 to Anne Lee from Singapore.
Yeah, Lee's just stayed very cool-headed, very calm and collected. That's a tack together, the referee's not going to separate that. Yeah, here we go. The referee is...
It's a yellow card there for Jennifer Sancroft.
Yeah, because, you know, Sabre fencing is so quick, so she just had a false start there. She started just before the referee said go, so you do get... It's a cardable offence.
But no immediate punishment with a yellow card, it's whether they get a second one. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. So 2 yellows means a red, and that means a hit against you.
Just 1 more point needed now for Lee from Singapore.
Fantastic hit to finish that. Clean cut parry post. Absolute great mental strength there to come back and then take it right at the last sort of 30 seconds to a minute of the fight. Really was great to watch.
So that's Anne Lee through to the finals then of the Women's Sabre competition. Jennifer Sancroft narrowly missing out. That was all a bit tense, wasn't it? It's the nature of Sabre, I suppose. It can change so much.
Yeah. And, you know, that's what I love about Sabre, is that it's never over until the very last hit. So you've always got to have your head in the game. Well, you need your head in the game for all 3 weapons, really. But because Sabre's so fast-paced, it can turn around just like that, just as quickly as it started. So, you know, what a fantastic, exciting match. I really enjoyed that.
Do you think it was a change in tactics there? We're just seeing Jennifer Sancroft sort of backing off as Anne Lee started to get back into the fight, and I just wonder if, as you say, mentally she just decided, oh, I've got a lead here, I'm going to try and protect that, which is going to be a dangerous game in Sabre.
Yeah, you know, it might be that she just might have taken her foot off the gas. You could definitely tell there was slight doubt and hesitation when she got 2 hits against her, and she just started to kind of lose her dominant streak. We see here
this is the match point coming up.
A video replay. Yep. So here we go. Look at that! Absolutely fantastic, clean cut parry post. There's no getting behind that one.
And you can see how pleased she was with that. Absolutely roaring her own approval there. Well, here's what's coming up next then. It's Katie Hendra of England who's going to take on Catherine Kemp of Wales. How do you see this one going? You see Katie Hendra from a fencing dynasty, I suppose, or marrying into one. Is it the Truro club you said that she fences at?
Yeah.
They're a real powerhouse for those who don't know. I mean, that's been built up, and to be part of there and all the fighters coming out of there.
They've got a fantastic kind of fencing centre there, and a lot of really great fencers go to Truro Fencing Club and indeed fence in kind of Cornwall area. So yeah, I mean, Katie Hendra, she's going to be so pleased to be fencing in the semis. She's been fencing pretty well and pretty solidly throughout the day. Catherine Kemp, she's got a lot of World Cup experience behind her. Catherine Kemp, you know, she's made a couple of 32s and A grades in the past, and that is not an easy feat. So it's going to be a good battle, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Katie Hendra's record this year: London Open winner, Mike Matthews Open winner, Birmingham Open winner. So she's obviously in pretty good form as well. But Catherine Kemp, she's a finalist in the Mike Matthews Cup, finalist in the Birmingham International, as you say, last 32 Chicago World Cup, in 2012 as well. So here they come onto the piece then. And you can see when they walk onto the piece. I mean, Katie Hendra's a physical advantage. She's so much taller than her opponent, but I just wonder if that's a significant advantage in this or not.
I think probably height is probably more significant in épée, where reach is a real factor in it. But yeah, of course, if you're fencing the opponent who's that much more physically kind of dominant than you, then perhaps it might be slightly intimidating for Catherine Kemp. But then again, these two face each other quite a lot, so they're probably quite used to fencing each other.
Katie Hendra's record through to this semi-final: 15-6 against Niamh Spence, then 15-5 against Jane Hutchison. As you say, her future mother-in-law.
Future mother-in-law, yeah.
So she's had it, I wouldn't say easy coming through, but she's certainly been putting it past her opponents relatively comfortably on the way to the semi.
Yeah, I think this is going to be her first fight where she's really going to have to step it up again. Look at that. Catherine Kemp really pushing her foot on the accelerating and falls her right to the back of the piece. Again, that's the attack all the way through. 2-0. What a great positive start. That really was a lovely little hit on preparation there. 2-1. Yeah, there again, I mean, it's difficult to see when you're just watching it like that, but KK just started. There again, KK just acknowledging the hit was on her. It makes it 2-3. This really is quite a quick fight there again. Yeah, the attack goes through. This time, this is the attack from the right. They seem to be kind of, riposting each other with an attack here, attack there, and it's very, very tight actually. I wonder if Catherine Kemp's going to really try and get a couple more ahead now and see if she can edge her way. You see, she just got a fantastic attack there. Katie Hendra needs to kind of really work hard on her footwork to get herself out of distance. Here we go, she's moving. But no, KK is
That was very much going on the offensive there, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. She's starting to take control now, and perhaps she's starting to settle a bit as well. Nerves are coming off, and she's just getting fantastic clean cut hits.
We're already into that break, having reached that 8 points. That happened in an absolute flash.
Yeah, I wonder how long that took. What do you think, 15 seconds?
About something like that. maybe 45 if we're being generous.
Yeah. Nice bit of support there from the Aussie supporters.
It's the explosiveness of Sabre so important as well, and I wonder if there's a training you can do to make yourself more explosive.
Yeah, I mean we do that in all weapons. It's, you know, fencing's a fast-paced and explosive sport, and you know, I think with fencing, the way to become a better performing fencer is to just do fencing. I know it sounds silly, but everyone talks about doing lots of strength conditioning and doing lots of fast feet exercises and everything like that, but really what you need to do to train yourself as a fencer is to do lots of your footwork, to do lots of sparring, and to have your fencing lessons and be a really confident fencer. But yeah, there are lots of things you can do. Fast feet, you must always train your footwork. Footwork is one of the most important things in fencing, because at the end of the day your feet are what are going to get you out of dangerous situations and sticky situations. So particularly in sabre fencing, you've got to have the strongest of legs. Really, you do.
So second period getting underway. And immediately a hit for Catherine Kemp. They're taking her up to 9-3. It's a 6-point lead. And again, single hit this time. 10-3 to Catherine Kemp. She's absolutely running away with this. Katie Hendra is going to have to work very hard to get back into this fight.
Oh, lovely hit there. Yeah, Katie just she seems to have lost her rhythm a bit. You know, she had that rhythm. She was picking up her opponent at the beginning, and now she's just kind of letting herself be pushed away. And I think, you know, she's just finding it difficult to kind of keep her head up and really get back into the fight. That was really KK's dominating and getting hit after hit in this, so it's going to be difficult for Katie to get out of that mindset and just kind of break up KK's rhythm. Here we go, that's better. She moved in and out, and just caught her on her preparation and she was about to come forward. That was a great hit. This time she tried to do the same again, but it was just too late.
Just one more point needed then for Catherine Kemp, which will take her through to the final.
With a full start there.
That's it. Catherine Kemp takes this semi-final 15-4. That's a big win.
That's a big win, yeah. I mean, Catherine Kemp, she just did hit after hit, very clean cut. It was fantastic. It was really nice to see all those lovely hits power through. She was a powerhouse, essentially. Katie just kind of, you know, she got a couple of hits there which were absolutely fantastic. It just broke up her rhythm, but she just couldn't find her feet. She was kind of out of the game from the beginning. But, you know, all credit to her. She's been fencing well all day, and she's made semi-finals, which is fantastic.
Obviously, Catherine Kemp pressing home the advantage that she had, and it seemed to be that there's that go forward. She seemed to have a lot of the time that was giving her that opportunity to score, and Katie Hendra not quite sure how to deal with the speed of that attack as she came forward.
Yeah, I think KK saw an opening, and every time she saw an opening, she just went for it. And she sort of noticed, I guess she must have noticed that Katie was kind of, you know, not responding that well to being pressed and not feeling that comfortable to her pressing and doing those kind of long attacks. And it just, actually, you could tell that KK was in her element. She was given the kind of distance and the timing and everything she needed to just do the actions that she wanted to do, and she was in total control for the whole fight, really.
So we do have a couple of fascinating finals then for the men's Épée and the women's Sabre. Let's just remind you of what we've got coming up then this evening. First up, it will be the men's final, the gold medal match in the men's Épée, where we're going to see Mark Burkhalter, who is of course the defending Commonwealth champion, taking on Dudley Tredger, who absolutely destroyed his opponent in the semi-finals. So that will be followed by the women's Sabre competition. It will be Anne Lee of Singapore, Catherine Kemp. So let's just take a little look then how Mark Burkhalter and Dudley Tredger got there. Maduma, the South African fighter there that Tredger saw off, he would absolutely destroyed his opponent in the last 32, and Tredger managed to see him off. So that's a very good win. So your top tip for the men's épée is looking good in Dudley Tredger.
Yeah, you know, for some reason I just thought he had the edge today. You know, like I said before, he just kind of, he seems to be irritating his opponents and pressing them, and just
in a nice way. In
a nice way, yeah. No, that's not me saying. But you know, it is difficult when you're fencing kind of quite awkward fences. It's difficult for your opponent to try to get their point on and to work them out. And you know, if he keeps pressing like that, and like you say, Nick, it's going to be a really interesting fight, this final. Yeah,
I mean, I think the most impressive thing I've seen today, obviously we had the pool matches before we started the commentary, and watching Mark Burkhalter take on Samson Lee, who was the #1 seed, who had himself had been very impressive up to that point, and to see Mark Burkhalter use all that experience to see off a guy who was extremely quick, extremely athletic, was a very impressive performance.
Yeah, I bet. And, you know, I really feel like he's in his element in these championships. And, you know, him just being so relaxed. And like you said, that experience is what's got him this far in the competition. You know, to beat the #1 seed, well, you know, clearly he's on form. He's on fire today.
Please welcome your finalists for this year's 2014 Commonwealth Fencing Championships, Mark Burkhalter of Wales and Dudley Tredger of England.
Here we go then, it's the first gold medal match here at the Inverclyde National Sports Centre from the Commonwealth Fencing Championships 2014.
And he will be assisted by Sean Grundy and Nick Payne. Please make a lot of noise for the men's épée finalists.
Mark Burkhalter there looking as relaxed as ever. You never know he was in a gold medal match. He's just looking like he's out for a spot of practice.
Yeah, this should be a really interesting fight. There again, that they would have fenced each other countless times in domestic competitions, and you know, they're going to be trying to think in their heads, how am I going to get one up on my opponent? How am I going to just be a little bit different? I'm going to catch them off guard and really take this home.
Here we go then, so of course remember, back to épée, the weapon, rather than sabre. Fascinating duel about to come up. That's Dudley Tredger then, going back to those same tactics that saw him through so successfully in the semi-finals.
Yeah, you know, look, literally in the first 5 seconds he'd go, and he tried to, he didn't, there you go, he's going to get yellow carded for that, because when you turn your back to your opponent, you get yellow carded, and even though, you know, he thought he'd hit his opponent, he looked away and he got carded. Here we go, you know, straight away he's applying pressure again, same tactic, got 2 sneaky hits in 10 seconds, which actually in épée is pretty impressive.
You can see Mark Burkhalter trying not to retreat too far and falling into that same trap that John Downs did of letting Tredger come onto.
Yeah, it's difficult. What Mark Burkhalter has to do really is try to find a way on how to stop Tredger's pressing style. Now, he could either try to disrupt his rhythm and try and beat his blade, or he could try and do a fantastic flick to wrist like he's just done, or else it's just about kind of like doing half attacks into his preparation, trying to make him react, and then look at this, he's started to control the fight again. He's got a fantastic hit to wrist. It's probably put Tredger off a bit. I wonder if he's going to carry on pressing like he was. He's still advancing, but not so dominating.
He's still backed off just a touch. I wonder if Mark Burkhalter now has the measure of his man and realises the gaps in that attack that he can exploit.
Yeah, I think he's starting to settle now, and he's just found the right distance where he can pick up his opponent's blade, and there we go, he tried to do it again, he picked up his blade and tried to flick hit him to shoulder, but missed. So Tredger essentially did get quite a lucky hit by getting that hit just there. Remise hit, it's called a fencing. But yeah, Burkhalter still has to be wary because Tredger's still getting a few quick hits here and there, so he needs to be ready right from the get-go. There again, he's trying to pick up the blade, he's trying to hit, do flick hits, but that's 2 now which haven't landed. He's going to have to change it up a bit.
So that's 10-5 already to Dudley Tredger, 50 seconds into the first period. It's highly unusual for him.
Yeah, I think it's just Tredger's style really. That's how he likes to control the pace of the fight. You know, and what's amazing is that a fencer like that can control the pace to what he wants it to be. You know, he's turning the switch off and on, which is really good. Yeah, lovely single light there, 12-6. Really dominating. We've still got 2 minutes left in this period. Gosh, that's been quite a few series of hits now where Burkhalter's tried to, he's found the parry and he's just not got that hit. And it's so important in fencing, once you've got that parry, you've got to get your point on and got to get that riposte.
That's Dudley Tredger just 1 point away from a Commonwealth Fencing Gold medal.
This is it. Really is hard in Épée because he just needs a double light. Or a single light.
A single light, and that's it. Gold medalist, Dudley Tredger of England. England's first medal at these championships. First medal to be won at these championships.
Absolutely fantastic performance there. He kept his game plan. He was going to be pressing all the way. And really dominated the whole fight. There was no...
he's being mobbed by his teammates
now,
there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Almost dropped him off the piece. That wouldn't be very good. That was 2 absolutely tremendous performances across the semi-final and final by Dudley Tredger.
Yeah, you know, he deserves to win. He really dominated all of his fights, and you know, there's no questions asked. This guy is Commonwealth champion, and that's the way it should be. He's dominated all the way, and it was for his to take. So
Mark Burkhalter almost kind of looks like he's not quite sure what just happened. It didn't seem to be his pace of fight at all, and it was...
Yeah, he seemed to be quite shot there, to be honest. But
I just wonder if those sort of cagey tactics he had earlier on, which served him very well against perhaps the younger fighters, you come up against somebody else who is also extremely experienced, and those same tactics just... And he wasn't able to adapt quickly enough because of the speed that Tredger was working at.
Well, he started to, kind of midway through the fight, he started to kind of pick Tredger off as he was advancing, and he was managing to get those parries. But then... after that, he got a couple of good, lovely parry passes, and then he was picking up the parries, but he was missing. And, you know, at elite level sport, if you miss, that's it. You've only got one chance. You can't afford to miss in a final of Commonwealth Championships. So, you know, he might have had the right tactic initially. He started to pick Tredger off, but kind of the timing and the hit just wasn't on. So
we are just about to see the last match of the day, and it is, of course, Anne Lee of Singapore against Catherine Kemp, who, of course, will be wanting a little bit of revenge for the Welsh, perhaps, in this particular final. It's back to the Sabre weapon. I was going to say it's so different from Épée, but, I mean, really, the speed at which Dudley Tredger was working, it's not a huge difference in terms of the speed of it, I suppose.
Yeah, but I mean, well, there is such a massive disparity. There is a big difference between the two weapons, and you know, Sabre is really that kind of fast and furious game. That said, like you say, Nick, this was over within 3 minutes first period. So, but you know, in reality, Sabre is a far different weapon. Very, very aggressive. It's a fantastic spectator sport, actually. Yeah,
we can see the route to the final. As say the victory, the 15-4 against Hendra was a very good win for Catherine Kemp.
Yeah, Kemp seems to be on form. She really seems up for it, especially in those semi-finals. She was screaming for her hits, and she looked like her head was in the game. She was really in the zone. So you know, it will be tough against this Singapore girl, Lee. She looks pretty good too. She looks pretty solid as well mentally. But if I was going to hedge my bets, Nick, I think I might go for Catherine Kemp.
Oh, you're going out on a limb, are you?
I know, probably shouldn't do that, but I'm going to say Kemp. What about you?
I can't have an opinion on these things. I mean, Lee herself, on her route to the final, she managed to take out the number one ranked fighter, which is no mean feat. Somebody who's come into the competition, and she's disposed of her in the last 16. So there we are. You can see it on the screens now. It's Sundararaman of India that she took out, and then taking out Sancroft and the Scottish fighter as well, with the home crowd backing her. She's obviously got her eyes on the prize, I would say.
Yeah, no. It's going to be a great final to watch. It's going to be it's going to be difficult for both opponents. So I'm just looking forward to see how each one reacts. Really, it could be down to the wire, this one, which would be really exciting.
Yeah, we've not seen anything that's been too close. There's always been a moment at which one of the fighters has managed to pull away and make it sort of fairly comfortably.
Yeah, not in the final. So far we haven't seen really tight fights. But fencing does have lots of tight fights.
Please welcome your finalists, Anne Lee of Singapore and Catherine Kemp of Wales.
Catherine Kemp looking very happy and relaxed there, it has to be said, as she got a big cheer from the Welsh crowd supporting her.
And he'll be assisted by Julian Rose and Andreas Dubas. Please welcome your finalists to the piste.
The fighters just making the last preparations. I think that particular chant for Catherine Kemp, I think there's more Welsh supporters than there are from Singapore, I have to say. Slightly partisan crowd.
Yeah. It's actually quite nice to see, Lee's ranked number one in the competition and Catherine Kemp's two, so it's quite nice to kind of see these two in the finals, how it should be really. This is going to be a real fight and test of who's going to be the kind of brave enough opponent to go for it and get that gold title, get that gold medal.
The semi-finals would suggest they fight in a sort of similar-ish style, I suppose, making the running. It'll be interesting to see if one of them starts to back off a little. Yeah,
it's going to be it'll be interesting to see how they respond to one another's style. I'm not sure if they've ever fenced each other. And I wonder if Catherine Kemp is going to be feeling so relaxed in the way that she attacks like she did against Katie Hendra. Perhaps she might be a little bit more cagey in this one. What a great riposte. That really is a fantastic hit to start the fight.
Just stopped Lee dead in her tracks there.
Yeah, very clean cut, very self-assured. And look at that. Absolutely fantastic top cut hit on preparation. You can't get any better than that. She's got her coach Dave Sage in the corner there, just settling her, supporting her, giving her sound advice.
Catherine Kemp moving out to a 3-1 lead there then.
It's looking pretty close at the moment, Nick. I mean, both fencers have had some pretty great hits. And the attack was no initially from the left. Prise de Fer is touche from the right. This time it's going to be given to Catherine. 4-3. Catherine Kent there just tried to attack on preparation there, but she was just a little too late. Lee got in there just before her. Tap together, referee's not going to separate that. Really great footwork from both girls here. Catherine just stepping in a bit too early. She got caught.
You can see her trying to give herself a little bit of separation. Perhaps worried about the speed of Lee's attacks. You say her footwork is extremely quick.
Her footwork is excellent. So, you know, I can hear Catherine Kemp's coach, Dave Sage, saying, move, footwork.
And she is shaking her head. She's not happy with that decision by the referee there, which awarded the point to Lee. And wagging her finger rather reprovingly.
Really good there. She takes the blade, moves it out of the way, and gets her around the side on the shoulder. Great hit. Yellow card there just because Lee wasn't ready. She just said, "Halt, not ready. Can we stop?" Oh, another false start from the left. That's 2 yellow cards, one for each opponent. Both on yellows. Remember, if they get one more yellow card, that's a red hit against them. And that'll be a hit. A red card against them, and it'll be a hit against them.
Catherine Kemp levels the scores up then at 6 apiece.
Oh, fantastic. And, you know, this is where actually Catherine Kemp is using her footwork. Her opponent is slightly shorter than her, and she's just made her fall short and just got her on a stop hit. Really great hit.
So Catherine Kent goes into the break then. 2 points for the good. And this does feel a little tenser, I suppose, in the semi-finals. Obviously, it's the gold medal match, but
it is tense. They're kind of doing hit for hit here. Just see here in the video replay. I believe that was Catherine Kemp's last hit before the minute break there.
And the way they both turn towards the referee as well, and it's almost an appeal to say that I was the one that got that, and they're both doing it, just trying a little bit of kidology, I suppose, towards the referee.
Well, you know, of course, and I think it's just, as a fencer, as a former fencer myself, I was, you know, I used to do that. I used to shout for my hits, and it's not just because you want to sway the referee's decision. It's because you're in the moment and you're passionate about what you've just done. You know, sometimes you just want the hit so much. You just can't help but scream.
Yeah, you can see there Catherine Kemp fist pumping after that previous hit. I think that just put her ahead in the match, that one. So here we go then. Second period about to get underway.
KK's just asking the referee to readjust her head wire onto the mask. Head wire makes sure that the bib is kind of connected so that you can hit and that your hit registers when you hit the bib. Wow, what a fantastic parry post there. Again, she's just getting the distance right now. She's figured it out. It looks like she's making Lee attack and just fall a little bit short and either picking up the pin or making it fall short and going for the hit.
That's 2 in a row, exact same time. The margins are so slim.
Yeah, this time Catherine Kemp didn't move her feet enough and she just didn't find that distance that she's been finding so far in the fight. Again, it's pretty tight, very close.
That's moved Lee back to within a point of Catherine Kemp. Just 9-8 to the Welsh fighter now.
Tap together again. Referee's not going to separate it.
Lee's hand speed just a little too much for Catherine Kemp. The levels are up at 9-all.
Yeah, that was fantastic. She stuck out her arm, had her point in line. and then just went for the hit. And so this time KK's responded again with another hit. It's 10-9. Really can cut the tension with a knife in here. It's fantastic. This time Lee's looking for the blade, and she's actually, it was Catherine Kemp's attack all the way. Catherine Kemp getting caught on preparation there. She just needs to slow her feet down a bit. Really great hit there.
Reopening that 2-point gap as well, edging ever closer to that magic number of 15.
Catherine Kemp just taking a bit of time to straighten her blade on the side of the piece, just taking a bit of time out. Tap together. Oh dear.
Oh,
has
card
Catherine
coming. It's a
Kemp
red
done a full
card.
start? Yes, she has. She gets a red card and a hit against her. It's just so important in fencing
wonder-
not to give away hits like that, especially in the finals.
I wonder how crucial that might be. It narrows the gap to just 1 point.
Beautiful hit, really fantastic. Getting out of the way and doing a swooping stop cut hit to her wrist. That was fantastic to watch.
1 point required.
Back together, it's very tense. Catherine just taking her
Catherine
mask
just
off.
taking a little moment. Looks like she might have taken a blow to the throat. Just composing herself. It's probably a good time to.
Yep, she just needs a breather, a bit of time to reset, think about the next hit.
A little sideways glance to the coach there. It is so tense. Three in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the referee's not going to separate those.
That's it, Catherine Kemp, gold medalist for Wales. Well, it certainly seems the best fight to last, I think, there, Claire. That was nerve-wracking in the extreme for everyone. I hate to think what the fighters must have been going through, but Catherine Kemp looks so relieved now. Lee, obviously, very disappointed. She ran Catherine Kemp very close. Coaches, teammates, high fives for Catherine Kemp of Wales.
You know what, Catherine Kemp, you know, I'm very happy for her. She had some fantastic hits in that fight. It was difficult because Lee was kind of edging ever closer and it was tense all the way, and to actually finish like that is not easy, especially in a tense environment and everybody's watching, and you know, she closed it. It was a really good fight to watch and to commentate on.
Well, that was a great day's fencing, everyone. If you remain seated, there'll be a small break.
Yeah, we're just seeing the replays now of Catherine Kemp, and she seemed to be in control, I think, for a lot of that. She felt like she had the measure of her opponent. Some of these replays we're seeing, when she's pumping the fist and she knows she's taking that point and taking the momentum away from her opponent.
Yeah, she kind of, you know, stayed steady throughout the whole bout, and actually had some really nice hits where she really controlled the distance perfectly and managed to do some lovely stop cut hits and parry posts and moving out of distance, which those kind of hits are difficult to do. You've got to be a skilled fencer to do it. And you know, she seemed relaxed but focused, which is the kind of that
was a lovely smile as she took off her mask there, and a wee glance towards the coach and the supporters who have been sort of down on the left-hand side of the piece as we look at it, and the little pocket of Wales supporters there. So, yeah, gold medalist. Sounds good.
Oh God, yeah. You know, what a fantastic thing to say. It's something that you know, when I captained the England team in the last Commonwealth Championships to a gold medal, and it's something that I'll never forget. You know, all those years of training and everything like that, and it just makes it all the sweeter, and that's what you're doing it for. It makes this whole experience more worthwhile. And for Catherine Kemp, this was her opportunity to win gold, and she stepped up and did it. And it's something she'll always say she would have done. You know, she's achieved this, and I think it's great. It's great for her, and it's something that she can reflect back on forever now and be really happy about.
Please go to the call room. Can all medalists please go to the call room?
So we're just getting things ready here at the Inverclyde National Sports Centre in Largs for the medal ceremonies. A little bit of revenge, I suppose, as well for the Welsh after the men's épée as well. Mark Burkholder just losing out to Dudley Tredger, and so we talked about that game. Tredger, he was your hot tip. You'd watched him fight earlier in the day, and that prediction came absolutely true.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on form all day, to be honest, and everybody seemed to have found it really difficult to deal with his pressing style. He's just picking his opponents off one by one. He's the kind of style which is awkward. You know, it's difficult to be pressed like that in any weapon, and unless you come in mentally and tactically prepared to defend yourself against that pressing style, you're just going to get eaten alive, quite frankly. And Tredger, you know, fair play, he did really well today.
I suppose they get their weapon of choice out the way. You know, the first day of the championships, we've been on the go here since 8 AM this morning. They've kind of done their bit. They were the first into the arena. I suppose the rest of the fighters, and a lot of them have been sitting watching this as well, they'll now get a chance to savour the atmosphere a little bit and understand what they're going to be coming into tomorrow and Wednesday for the other individual competitions we're going to be here for. Yeah,
definitely, and I think that does make a difference. You know, at the end of the day, these weapons are sort of setting the tone for the rest of the championships, and I always enjoyed, to be honest, fencing on the second or third day, because, like you say, it gives you time to absorb the atmosphere, to really start thinking about how you're going to, you know, fence that, how you're going to play out the competition in your head, visualise it, really feel it. You know, you're in the venue, and I'm sure everybody watching Catherine Kemp or Dudley Tredger from England and Wales, they were getting super excited and in the moment, and probably thinking, you know what, this could be me tomorrow, or this could be me the day after tomorrow, and it probably is inspiring for them.
Yes, obviously it is a 6-day event, and of course we're going to be here all week, certainly myself and Claire here for the first 3 days, and we're very keen, if you're watching wherever you might be in the world, to get in touch with us here in Largs. You can get in touch with us via Twitter, hashtag CFC Largs, or indeed the Commonwealth Fencing account at CFencing2014. Let us know where you're watching the fencing. Let us know why you're watching the fencing as well, if you're a fencer back home perhaps. So there'll be people sitting watching this, a lot of fencing fans, a lot of people at their local clubs who might be tuning in and watching and supporting their local fencer. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there'll be lots of fencing fans watching tonight, and I hope there are. Hello, fencers. It's 20 countries, of course, that are taking part, so it's across the Commonwealth, obviously. Yeah, and in fact, I think it's one of the biggest Commonwealth Championships that have ever been, in terms of participants and number of countries who've entered. So let's hope there are a lot of supporters out there and following all the fencers out here in Largs. Well, let's just remind you a little bit about where we are the next 6 days. It's the Commonwealth Fencing Championships 2014 in Largs, and when we come back, we'll have the medal ceremonies for you.
Smiarach le clown do el mi Smiarach me shedur lat feppel Gruppe ganem dusser katel Ganjarach gehitch na satje Drumut mavran harle maikne Alle vak holjo Alle vak holjo Alle vak holjo Smiarach le quando el mi Smiarach me shed moach benje Gauer gereje spelen sölje Ik mi stolt a chod na kulje
So here we go then, waiting for the medalists from the first day of the Commonwealth Fencing Championships 2014 to be piped into the arena here at the Inverclyde National Sports Centre in Largs. And it's the finalists from the men's Épée who are led in. Mark Burthalter continuing to play to the crowd a little. Of course, 2 bronze medals awarded. Nice round of applause for the piper as well.
Please welcome the men's Épée finalists to the podium. Today the medals will be handed out by MSP Margaret Burgess. In 3rd place can we have John Downs.
John Downs of Australia then, first up onto the podium.
In equal 3rd place can we have Tom Edwards.
Losing out, of course, in that semi-final match to his compatriot.
In the silver medal position can we have Mark Burkhalter.
Obviously a popular figure here, Mark Burkhalter.
And finally we have the gold medalist, Dudley Treasure.
whole place just erupted there, didn't it, Nick?
Stamping of feet, making the ground shake beneath us. Gold medal then for Dudley Tredger. England's first of these championships. 2 medals for Wales, 1 for Australia. Lifts the St George's Cross above his head.
You get standing for the English national anthem. Thank you to the men's Épée finalists.
Gathering together on the top step of the podium there. Just getting the photographs taken now. And it really is, I suppose, the Dudley Tredger. It's going to be the peak of his career, isn't it? This gold medal. I mean this with all due respect, of course. He's 33 and he's probably reaching his peak, shall we say? Is that a diplomatic way of putting it?
No, it will be. It's just fantastic for Dudley Tredger. And yeah, I think you're right, Nick. It probably will be one of his proudest moments that he'll always be able to reflect back on. And great. He's done it on such a lovely stage here in Largs as well. It's fantastic. Set up. A podium ceremony was lovely with the bagpipes as well. Was really patriotic, really fantastic to watch and hear.
He's an economics teacher as well, is Dudley, so he'll be able to have something to show the kids when he gets back to his school as well, which is nice.
I'm sure he'll be invited to lots of assemblies now to show off his medal.
So we are just waiting for the arrival, of course, of the women's Sabre medalists. Strains of the pipes. Catherine Kemp there draped in the Wales flag, who of course took gold in that very tense women's sabre final. A little blast of Scotland the Brave there. The crowd immediately recognise. So it's Katie Hendra and Jennifer Sancroft, the bronze medalists. Anne Lee of Singapore the silver, and Catherine Kemp the gold medalist.
Please make a lot of noise for the women's Sabre finalists. And equal third place from Scotland, can we have Jennifer Sancroft? And from England, Katie Kendrick. In second place from Singapore, Anne Human Lee. And our gold medalist from Wales, Catherine Kemp.
She has been getting the biggest cheers of the night so far, I think, Catherine Kemp. Clearly a very popular winner. First gold medal for Wales. There's medals too for Scotland, England and Singapore.
Please be respectful of the national anthem.
Rousing stuff there, Land of My Fathers, the Welsh national anthem for Catherine Kemp. Is that the first tear we saw of the tournament as well, perhaps? Catherine Kemp.
Yeah, she's certainly getting emotional. I mean, it just shows how much it means to her, which is really nice to see.
Well, it's been a very successful first day for Wales, I would say, in the great scheme of things. Gold medal, silver medal as well in the men's épée. Good start for them. Yeah,
definitely. They'll be really happy and pleased with that. You know, England too. They've got a gold medalist, so you know what a great start to the games, to the championships for them.
Well, that just about wraps things up from day one of the Commonwealth Fencing Championship. Coverage tomorrow starts with the last 32 matches at 2:30. Of course, you can get in touch with us at C Fencing 2014. It's the last 16, in fact. That's the live streaming coverage. Get in touch with us, hashtag CFC Largs. Let us know where you're watching the fencing from. And myself and Claire will be back tomorrow evening with the women's foil individual. Your weapon, of course, Claire. You'll be looking forward to that?
Very much looking forward to that, yeah.
And again, it'll be fast and furious with the men's sabre. That's it from us, from the whole team here in Largs. Do join us again tomorrow if you can. Have a very good night.